Hello there! Welcome back to Danganronpa. We're doing a trial, and I'm with Retro.
Look at Leon.
He looks like he's about to punch someone.
Yeah.
And...
Alright. From here on out, the numbers of weak spots will start going up.
But no matter how many weak spots, there's especially only one lie. Contradiction in that debate. Wait, but what I'm trying to say is, not all weak spots you see are necessarily false. The truth bullets in the wrong one is not only will you fail to refute what they said, but you'd also lower your trust with everyone, and your influence guard will take damage. Now this is important because if your influence guard reaches 0, you fail. You'll have to apply your own logic to determine the weak spots are actually lists or conditions.
Lies or convictions.
Now then, good luck, and hopefully you die due to Manakuma.
Alright, let's see if I can remember this one.
Okay, let's see if we can figure this out.
Oh, we only got one.
Took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom. At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door.
Shoot!
No.
Sayaka had locked it.
No, this one!
No!
I'm an idiot. I love the music. Sounds like something you'd hear in laser tag.
It wasn't because it was locked. After all, the girls' rooms are the only ones with walking bathrooms, right?
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
Huh? What are you talking about?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door.
I can't tell if he's trying to be, like, condescending, just trying to be nice, or just being Storm.
I don't know. I like it.
That's not lucky at all.
So the reason the door didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked in the first place? Everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important detail about the scene of the crime.
Kira was convinced the bathroom door's locked.
I know one thing they missed to pull out.
What?
The nameplates, they got changed.
Exactly, that's the evidence hold. So what was it that actually couldn't be locked? In other words, the crime took place in my room.
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was? That's inconceivable.
And yet, he's absolutely right.
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom. If Sayaka had been in her own room, then
there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through!
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. The killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer would have to be someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms?
Then Makoto couldn't have done it.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Are you that dumb?
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
Ha, loser.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we think did it?
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Majority rules? You really think that's a good idea?
No.
Yeah, our necks are on the line here. Someone seriously needs to do something.
Does no one have any other thoughts or questions? It does not matter how trivial they may seem.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I do have one question.
Oh,
Go ahead.
you.
You gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just ask your question.
Oh yeah. Okay, so, well, I was just wondering, how did the culprit get into Makoto's room in the first place?
Yes. How did the killer get inside?
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere and the culprit picked it up. That's possible, right?
I don't think so. That seems way too convenient.
Then maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative! If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the locks are all unpickable.
Fine. How about this? The killer got in the easy way. They could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something, and Ms. Maizono just let him in.
No, that can't be it either.
Oh, trying to argue against me? Sounds like someone doesn't know his place. Hello? Why exactly can't that be it?
I love how his picture's pulsating in the corner.
I don't know.
Because she asked me to do something in particular. Because of how frightened she was. That's the answer right there. Personally, Sayako should let someone in because of keys.
I got it! Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? That's why she asked me to switch rooms in the first place.
Same goes to you, Sayaka. No matter who it is, don't open your door for anyone.
Well, it looks like that door doesn't go anywhere anyways.
Yeah, it looks like it's already off its hinges.
And it ain't even on
It
the
doesn't
wall.
look like the frame's even on.
Yeah. Even if I'm sure it's you, I absolutely won't open it otherwise. What's the point of even switching?
Knowing what she'd been through, I just can't believe she would have opened the door for anyone.
What if her being scared was a lie?
Huh?
What?
Well, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Why would she lie about something like that?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility?
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just the two of us. 5 minutes. Come see me in my room. Check the nameplate out. Make sure you don't get the wrong room, okay?
I found a notepad during my search, and I shaded in the top sheet with a pencil. And these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows.
The sad part is, I don't think they do it a whole lot.
It hardly even works. I've tried it.
Yeah.
When you write, it can leave an imprint. Sketch over the next sheet of paper, and you can see the words. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now on.
It's a pretty old-fashioned
That's
technique,
depressing.
but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes. Oh, and
I
I should
hate
also
when I do that,
mention,
actually.
I found a
Yeah.
notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
I'll be drawing and I'll get lines from the older pages, and I'm like, oh.
I can actually agree with that somewhat.
Huh? Which means
What?
only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto, did you write this?
No, I didn't.
But of course you didn't, because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's signature.
How do they know ours isn't legible? I'm sensing they're bullying me. Teacher!
Then that no. Sure, I'm yawning. Sayaka wrote it?
But why? Why would she write that?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain someone. She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what young man could resist?
Coming from a man that likes 2D.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
Well, they're all 2D still.
Yeah.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What makes you say that?
Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Sure.
She somehow sounds like she has somewhat basic English, just by the sounds of the words.
She sounds like she's a fortune teller.
Yeah.
Very well then. Pay attention.
Okay, I need to use the mouse.
Door nameplate.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
Oh.
Nope.
Okay, I can take the hit for that. You mindless words tire me. Please, stop wasting my time. Ow.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying.
No, it's wrong.
Perfect.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got switched.
They got switched?
You would have known that if you actually checked.
Do your job,
That's
people.
right. The
Investigate.
nameplates got switched, just like the rooms themselves. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka was staying in was actually marked as her room.
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room where Sayaka was.
Plus, their rooms are right next to each other, so switching the nameplates would be no problem. And the one who switched the names was... Well, of course it wasn't you, right, Makoto?
Right? Okay, then who did it?
Sayaka.
Yeah.
There's only one person who could have switched the nameplates. Oh, darn it.
I got it!
Perfectly
Me
timed.
and Sayaka were the only ones who ever knew about us switching rooms. So the only other person besides me who would even know to switch the nameplates was Sayaka.
You can also infer as much from her note.
There's something I want to talk to you about. Just the two of us in 5 minutes. Come and see my room. What the hell?
Sorry, I got a phone call.
Okay.
Check the nameplates to make sure you didn't get them wrong. Wrong room, okay?
She specifically tells the reader to check the nameplate. She would only have written that if she knew the nameplates had been switched.
But why would she switch them in the first place?
She wanted someone to come to the room she was in, and also hide the fact that it was Makoto's room.
That face.
He's focusing so hard on the turd-shaped hair.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Inviting someone to your room, but not telling them you'd switched rooms. Why would anyone do that?
To understand that, we first need to understand what happened after she invited the person into the room. That's where the answer lies.
What happened then was probably whoever she invited over came in and attacked her. We figured it out! We know who did it! Whoever she invited over is the culprit!
But we still don't know who it is, you goddamn idiot.
He has a point.
Sayaka fought with her killer there in the room, yes?
It's Leon. It has to be Leon.
Perhaps the answer to our previous question
Look at his face.
lies in that initial struggle.
He doesn't like that people are getting close.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Then we just have to figure out what happened during the fight, right?
That reminds me. There was a replica sword at the murder scene. Was that perhaps used during the fight?
Oh yeah. What's the deal with that sword?
Sayaka suggested I should hold on to it. I thought it might come in handy if I had to defend myself. It seems pretty likely that the killer used it to break Sayaka's right wrist.
How the hell could you possibly know that's what broke her wrist?
A paint. The
Yeah.
reason I know Sayaka's wrist was broken with a fake sword is because when you look at her wrist, there's no doubt. Yep.
John! All you have to do is take a
Objection.
good look at her broken wrist, and it should become pretty clear.
No. Objection! I need pictures.
Right there where her wrist is all
Preferably ones
swollen.
that pop out.
There's something glittery there. See?
Specifically in a pop-up book.
Is that gold?
Oh, it's not a pop-up book, so I don't know.
It sure is. Specifically, the gold coating from the replica sword. You barely have to touch that stuff, and it'll stick right to you. And there's some on her wrist because...
They want us to end the episode.
God damn it.
Well, still got a bunch left.
True. I love how I make these smaller episodes compared to a 2-hour special we did.
Well, it gives us more time to get more out and to cover more
True.
weeks.
Gives you more time.
Well, I actually kind of need the time so then I don't have to rush down like 7 videos for 1 week.
Yeah.
And believe me guys, that can actually get pretty stressful if you're doing that week after week.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next week or later in the week, I don't know.
Before we go, I got a question to ask.
Go for it.
Can I upload that video you sent me? Just call it bloopers or something.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright.
I'm not stopping you. Plus, we have a
Sorry,
bunch
you
of
gave me the
witnesses that
video.
watch this, so...
Why we had to redo Danganronpa?
Because of this! So see you guys next time. Have fun.
See ya.